All right, everybody, and welcome back to the 9 Years podcast. We are returning after a little bit of a winter break. Much needed, a chance to recharge our batteries, to give you top quality podcast entertainment every week from here on in until the end of the season. We are the worldwide leader in AFC Wimbledon audio entertainment. Thank you very much for downloading the show this week. I am Nick Draper, joined as always by the face of the BBC Sport website, Mr. Stuart Deacons. We are in an upbeat mood at the moment, and we shall discuss why very, very shortly. But before we get into a look at our festive games, look ahead to the big game with Doncaster on the weekend, and play Richard Osman Foyo's House of Games as per usual, Stu, we do have to end on a bit of a sad note. And I think we should take a moment here. Everyone join us in a moment's reflection on the AFC Wimbledon career of Danilo Orsi, who is no longer with us. He has departed. He was a player that played for AFC Wimbledon for about 5 months. He had lovely hair, but he is not with us anymore. But Crawley, thanks for the transfer fee. Much appreciated. All that said, Stu, were you surprised to see him go? And were you even more surprised to see him go for a transfer fee?
Yeah, I was surprised to see him go because I think it became very obvious that he just wasn't a successful purchase. And hey, look, we've had some really good transfer windows, and I just feel we got that one wrong. But I didn't think we probably would admit it, if I'm being honest with you, because we're all quite proud people, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? I thought it might potentially be go loan somewhere or something like that, but it looks like Crawley under Scott Lindsay are literally trying to get back the old Crawley team that he let go when they got promoted. So yeah, if you look at the business Crawley have done, Crawley have bought like a whole new squad in. So they love him. They love him there. They know what they're going to get out of him. It's obviously at League Two level. Fee wise, we don't know what it was. It's an undisclosed. My gut feeling it's probably what we paid Burton.
Yeah.
With it, I suppose the question is now, where's that money go? Does it go back into the squad? I'm sure we get onto it a bit later, but it does leave us a forward light. Even people would laugh that he was a forward. That. I think the thing we just got to accept is that his style of play just didn't fit in with how we play. That's just simple how it is. Do you know what I mean? He scored goals, but only didn't really get much of a look in. But with obviously Josh Kelly injured at Woking, we are light on forwards as well. So interesting he went. Although I think, when you look at what Craig Coates said in the statement, it's quite interesting. He's basically about, disappointed to lose Danilo, but does say, as always, when there was a transfer fee on offer, it's important we consider given our financial position. That's a bit ominous. I know that's been said many, many times, but it probably was a case that anyone offering money we would take. But where's that? Does it go back into the squad? Who knows?
See it in black and white like that. We all know about the financial issues. It was a statement released before Christmas. We are aware of the struggles facing us, but to see the director of football come out and say that, I'm not sure if that was a way of saying, yes, we've got a fee for this player. Yes, we have one fewer salary coming out of the budget for the next few months, but don't get some idea that we're going to go out and start bringing in somebody with that money, because it sounds like it's unlikely to happen.
Yeah, and my understanding is that Crawley come to us. We weren't offering Orsi out for a transfer fee. So whether it was something that we would have wanted to do, but if someone comes in and if anyone wants to go to Crawley, good luck to them. I'm sure you'd have to pay quite a lot of money for most forwards to go anywhere near Crawley. But yeah, obviously Crawley know what to get. They were keen to get him. So good luck to them. It's helped us out. But everyone else everyone else in this transfer window is spending money or improving their squads, and we aren't doing anything.
Just trying to think of, we're halfway through January now, so we've still got a couple of weeks left of the transfer window. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots of things happening and lots of movements, especially towards the end of it. And you're right, clubs, they go for forwards in the main at this time of year. So we'll see where we'll know more, and we'll know we're better placed at the end of January in terms of the squad. Of course, by the end of January, we'd have by that time played three very important games. The next three are against the current bottom three in the division. The division being so tight that a couple of wins in that time, and you're not thinking about looking over your shoulder anymore. You're thinking about looking towards the playoffs again, even though I think there's probably 7 or 8 clubs now realistically that are in that mix, and I think everyone else is out of it. But we will look ahead to the games very shortly and look back at what we managed to get over the Christmas period. But there's one other player I think if we're looking at individuals that we should talk about to begin with, the name on everybody's lips at the moment, which is great because I always struggle to actually pronounce it correctly and decide, I think I make it up on the spot how I'm going to pronounce it. So let's start the first mention of his name. Let's go with Junior Nkeng.
Nkeng, again.
You see what I mean?
We're calling Junior. Hey, look, he's Junior to his friends.
We're calling him Junior from here on. He's made an impression on the fan base. I think it is fair to say. Lots of clamour for him now to be starting games, let alone being involved with them, based chiefly on, where was it, Northampton away, was it just the first time? And then Wycombe away more recently, and then the B Team trophy. But, that was, we don't count that. So,
But we've got money for it.
yeah, but as we say, where's that money going?
Beggars can't be choosers.
Well, that is very true. I think we should put that one in big lights and put it up at Plough Lane. Yeah, beggars cannot be choosers. But I mean, we'll talk about very briefly the B Team trophy in a minute. But yeah, Nkeng, where do we stand with him? Does he get? I haven't seen enough of him to tell you anything about him, really, to be honest with you. My gut feeling, what I do know about him, is that if you're going to play him, you're not going to play him as a wing back. You're going to have to move away from 3-5-2. And I know we did that, I think, at Wycombe. We went to a back four. I'm not sure if that was the same on Monday night in the trophy. You basically have to change the shape to accommodate him because you cannot play him as a wing back, surely.
No. Hey, look, he's a kid. He's a kid. Was he 19, 20?
He's only 18, isn't he?
18, sorry.
I will double check.
I think the thing is, right, he's exciting. There's no doubt about that. He's a winger, an old-fashioned winger. Wants to take his man on, and he's very good. There's no doubt about that. But we also know there's more to football than just taking your man on and stuff like that. And Johnny, hey, look, if any man... I saw something referring him to being as exciting as when Asal was on the scene. And I remember that. I remember Mark Robinson. Look, we know Robbo well, and I remember saying to Robbo, I thought you were absolutely crazy bringing him on Shrewsbury away, and he done really well.
And he scored.
Exactly. But I also think Robbo was the right person to bring him because Robbo had been through with Avasal in the youth team and would always give youth a chance. Johnny is a lot more straight laced. He doesn't really play youngsters. So I don't see him starting him. And also Johnny is very much a strong defensive structure.
Yeah.
He's brought him on when he's needed to chase games. So I don't see him starting him. I just think you have to look. I think his youth journey is a lot. I think he went to Kingstonians, then to Chatham. So he's at Ishmael level. I think very much. If you look at Sidwell, Dorking, you look at Jennings, they all started very similar with their loans. I think through circumstances, he's been elevated into the squad because of injuries and stuff like that, and he's taken his chance well. I suppose I've just seen it all before, and I'm very wary of getting too excited. You can easily damage youth players by doing too much too early on. And we've seen that. I remember the teams of Alfie Egan. Do you remember when he come in through and Tyler Burley,
Tyler Bury, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it. Who was a kid we brought in who went to Forest Green in the end?
Alfie Bendel.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to say he's going to end up like them, but we just got to be a bit careful. And we're playing at a really high level at League One.
Yeah.
With that, so I get it. I think we've lacked excitement and directness and stuff. But you're right. You can't play a 3-5-2. Wants to play as a winger. I saw him probably the first time live on Monday, and Steve Seddon was talking him through the game.
Mm.
Playing him in 3-5-2 was crazy because he wants to stay wide. So Seddon wants to overlap, whereas Nkeng wants to get out wide and take his man on, and did it many times. But Steve said looked a bit confused as to where to go, and in the end kept going inside, but wasn't passed to, and then we were, So I don't see it happening. I think he's an impact sub. I would give him half an hour, no problem at all. But I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him in his relegation 6-pointers. That's what they are.
I remember Mansfield at home. He came on for the last 10 minutes, and Dave Reddington basically spent the entirety of that 10 minutes talking him through the game, where he meant to be, where he had to be in the defensive side of it.
Yeah, and
And
that's natural for
of course, exactly.
That's natural for a youngster. So that's not you and I having a slight on his ability. There's no doubt he's got ability. But there was more to a game than just, coming on and trying to change a game when you're up against it. And we've all said it before, it's easier to play at 1-0 down than it is, that side of it. He's an exciting talent, but I think we got a bit carried away. I get it, but maybe I'm just too old in the tooth to appreciate the youngsters of today.
I'm never going to accuse you of that one, Stu. People in glass houses and all that. Is there an argument that when you're playing Doncaster at home, and as we will come on to, Doncaster 1 win in 17, 6 points adrift in the relegation zone at the moment, adrift of safety. Is there an argument that you put him on from the start, he creates chaos, causes problems, and you gamble that you're going to leave yourself a little bit more exposed defensively, but he can create so many problems because he's unpredictable and he likes to take players on, and you try and win the game early and demoralise a team already low on confidence?
Yeah, there is an argument. There's no doubt about that. The flip side is that you keep it tight against a team and you don't encourage them.
Yeah.
Doncaster are used to losing.
Yes.
We can't keep clean sheets. That's one of our biggest issues. I wouldn't want to give any encouragement to Doncaster. I would rather go with a solid 3-5-2. I'm not even convinced the 4-4-2 is something I just don't think we have the players for it. I'd prefer to go a 3-5-2 with Matty Stevens is back now. Keep the clean sheet, keep it tight, and then go with that. And then, Joe, what if we need to add a little bit of excitement? We've got Hackford and we've got Nkeng on the bench to do that. But no. But hey, look, Joe, what? I would be, sometimes you've got to do something different. I get that. I just don't think Johnny Jackson is your man to do that. We've seen Johnny for 4 years. Johnny Jackson doesn't take risks. His defensive structure is everything. And unfortunately, Nkeng still has to learn that part of the game. And look, I'll be amazed. If Johnny does, then, I'll eat my hat.
Let's have a look at the picture as a whole then over Christmas. Boxing Day, 0-0 with Stevenage at Plough Lane. Just some games that just live long in the memory, and you think, oh, what a fantastic occasion that was. It was a thrilling game. Two teams really going, slugging out toe to toe, back and forth. Could have gone either way. Stevenage was not that sort of game. And Boxing Day games tend to be a bit rubbish anyway, historically.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst.
Yeah, the funny thing is, you actually then doubled it up by then going to watch them again against Luton. So you're a sucker for punishment.
I'm sure we will come on to that towards the end of it. Yes, I did go up to Kenilworth Road again, as is my want to do.
Do you know what's interesting, actually, right, is I was quite impressed with Stevenage. I was really keen to see how they played because they certainly have evolved and developed in League One and understood what it needs really to stay in it, and they're doing better in the other half. And I could definitely see what their threats were. Definitely, I thought it looked dangerous in periods, so strong at the back.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I think we were happy to take a point. I think we never really threatened them. No. But then I think Stevenage were happy to take a point, but win on a set piece. So I think they had the best chance, to be fair. But they had obviously they had who was playing at the back? Something good at the back. I thought it was really good. A proper old school.
See what you did there.
Proper old school centre half.
Yeah.
Like, And I love the fact he kept calling his players out for not fighting hard enough for tackles, and his standards were so high. Also, you got I forgot his name now. Was it Perolagi or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Piergiani.
Them two together, I was like, you would not want to come up against them in a nightclub. Um, they were like the bouncers. But I was impressed with them. But I thought it was a good point for us from that, and hoped we would take it into the Exeter game.
I think talking about Stevenage happy and accepting the point. They're not results-wise, they're not in great form. I think it's only one win in something like 10 or 11 now, actually. So they've gone from a one-time top of the league, and now I think they're 8th or 9th now. So I think you're right. They are a team that defensively are so well. They're very well coached defensively. Like they're sort of like us last season in League Two. They know what they're doing. They don't take risks. They keep things very, very tight. They have got excellent centre halves. They work their backsides off for their manager. Yeah. I don't like Stevenage as a club, by the way, in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But I respect that of them. And they are that's a sort of League One solidity in that will keep them there for a number of years, I'd have thought. I don't see them going beyond that, but yeah.
No, but if you look at it in terms of progress and sort of like the story of where you are in League One, they are a team that we should be looking at of how they've understood League One and know where it is competing there. And like I say, you can see all the elements. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Would I really want to watch that sort of team week in, week out? No. However, I wouldn't say we're the most exciting either at the moment. Johnny Jackson isn't an attacking manager as such. He will look at your defensive structure first. So yeah, but it was a good point. And you obviously move on to Exeter, hoping that people were disappointed that we didn't win the game and took a point. But if you win against Exeter, then 4 points over 2 games is better than just on isolation.
The thing is, we went into that Stevenage game off the back of a poor defeat at Northampton. Northampton. There we go.
Yes. Sorry, no. Joe, I do apologise. We were recording this on a Wednesday night, and I'm just watching the Arsenal-Chelsea game. So I'm a little bit. I'm of course listening to you, but I'm just concentrating as well. I thought
multitasking, Stu.
Yeah, can't do that.
Cognitive overload. I did a training session on this.
I just don't like Chelsea.
One day ago.
It's so nice when Chelsea are losing. But Arsenal have just scored and they've done a VAR check, and I'm like, I thought we got rid of all that shit.
Don't get me started on VAR, Stu, but I'm sure we will come back to that one later on. But yeah, the thing is, what we did is we lost at Northampton, but then we got a point at Stevenage. What I hadn't appreciated at that point before the Exeter game is we were actually creating a bit of a pattern in the league. And that is we are losing every other game. So we've not lost consecutive games since Burton, Peterborough and Wigan, but we keep losing every other game.
Yeah.
So we went from a draw with Huddersfield, lost to Exeter, draw with Mansfield, lost to Northampton, draw with Stevenage. Exeter, we lost. What happened? What went wrong with that? Because we were it was 1-0, but I thought we were well beaten and well off it that day.
They were just better than us, to be truthful. I was impressed with their forward up top. We scored a goal, works hard. I just thought they were just better than us, which was frustrating, but we just never got going. And once they scored the goal, it then just really become they didn't even sit back. It just feels at the moment we can't keep clean sheets, and we don't seem to create enough chances.
Just to touch, it's so long ago now in my head, but just to review it and just touch on the goal, because there's a lot of criticism for Nathan Bishop for the goal, but I didn't put too much blame on him, to be honest with you. I think there were many problems in the build-up to the goal, including no pressure whatsoever on the cross and a run that no one picked up on. So he gave him a free header in the end.
It's a great run across Joe Lewis in the end, who gets beaten in the air. Again, I think Joe has played better. I think at the moment he's going through a bit of a rough patch with injuries, and that's probably not helped him this season and keeping a run of games. But the forward gets across him, heads it, because of how slow it went. That's where it was. But actually, the placement of it, and as soon as it bounces, they always say if you're going to head the ball, head it down, and you've got more of a chance. So I wouldn't blame Bishop for it, but Yeah, once they scored, you just didn't see where we were going to score.
And Exeter complete the double over us. And again, it just comes back to the fact they say we Stevenage and Exeter didn't see how we were going to score goals. We just seemed to lack any sort of threat whatsoever. Exeter, in the end, as you say, could have got scored a few more goals. And out of nowhere, by the way, Exeter, I think they might have even made it 3 wins in a row by the end of that period. And they're up to a point beneath us now. When at one stage, I think we were all thinking Exeter are certainly to go down.
Yeah, and it just shows you put a run of games together. That's what happens, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Thankfully, we got a lot of our points early in the season, but our home form hasn't been great over the last. Well, I think the last time we won at home, taking away a virtual trophy, was against Wycombe back in October. So yeah, we are struggling. It's not a surprise if you can't keep clean sheets and you can't score more than one goal per game, then it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realise you're going to struggle to pick up enough points.
Yeah, and you look at those two teams, Stevenage and Exeter, they have conceded on average fewer than a goal a game in the league this season. And that just tells you that was very much our strength last season. But without that, without the goal threat, we are struggling. All that said, we kept up this record of not losing consecutive games, losing every other game by winning on New Year's Day away at Leyton Orient. Took the long trip all the way to Brisbane to play this game. And it's going to say, again, we didn't keep a clean sheet, conceded early. Again, really poor goal to concede.
Yeah.
I thought really, really poor goal to
It
concede. But do you know what? After that, we were easy winners, really, to be honest with you. Clearly the better team on the day. Thought we won every battle, we won every second ball. There was no great. Sometimes I think we overanalyze football sometimes with tactics and things like that. I think that's just a case of we wanted it more. We were more aggressive. We were more on the front foot, and we put balls in the box more often. And in the end, that's how we get our goals.
Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting. I always look at, on Twitter for the opposition when they put their team list up, and then I always look at the comments of it, just because you get obviously fans that will give an opinion, and they all looked at it and went, "How are we going to win this game?" They literally looked very negative with it, which was interesting. But then, to be fair, Richie Wellens summed it up after the game, didn't he? He gave a very honest, saying that you've got some low knees that are not going to be here in a couple of weeks. We've got players that are leaving. I think they lost their goalkeeper back to Stoke on the morning of it.
On the morning of the game.
So yeah, Richie Wellens was very honest. But then that's been Orient's problem. Orient in the summer lost loads of low knee players because obviously they didn't get promoted through that. I just think whoever done the fixtures done us a massive favour, because getting Orient on just after the new year, they weren't very good. Hey, look, you can only beat what's in front of you, but they were a very poor Orient team. Still to go and win the game. But then we've got match winners in Miles Hippolyte and Marcus Brown, a free kick. It's just an excellent free kick. But you felt we didn't need a third. To be honest with you, the third just killed the game off and meant the Orient fans could go home and have a little bit of an earlier afternoon. But yeah, we played Orient at the right time. You have to look now. We're 4 points clear of the bottom four. Those 3 points at Orient could become very vital. But like I say, we couldn't pick up on it. Obviously, when we went to Wycombe.
Yeah, and we'll touch the Wycombe game in a minute. Just the Orient game, goals essentially coming through Steve Seddon. And I made the comment on Nazi Twitter. Do you know what? He's getting the Player of the Year award tomorrow because it's just massively. And the quality of the deliveries in the box were phenomenal. They create the own goal to begin with, perfect ball, but then for the second goal, fantastic. I think underrated finish from Hippolyte as well.
Oh, big time! Yeah. It was funny actually because he didn't really celebrate, did he? Miles, no. I was trying to work out. Had he played for them before? I don't know. Miles. To be fair, Miles Hippolyte has had a very disappointing last couple of months. Miles, started the season off really well, dropped off for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If we're gonna stay up in this league, God, do we need players like him to perform?
Yeah.
So it was good that he got his goal. Obviously, got another one in the virtual trophy as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't celebrate. Celebrate goals. I want to celebrate. Yeah, I want to celebrate goals. I did notice, by the way, is for Orient. I remember his name. We called him DJ, didn't we? When he was on loan us from Charlton.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
at Orient. He can't get in their squad. And if you can't get in that squad, it just shows you, doesn't it? Players that drop down the levels and yeah, sometimes all about what team you play for, and you can have golden patches, can't you?
I was having a conversation not too long ago at school because, Stu, as a general rule, I'm very good with names. I'm very good with names. And I can remember names of, multiple hundreds of students. I don't even teach them. I've got a knack for it. All right. But I was making the point that I think I was hitting critical mass with it because I was starting to struggle a little bit. And I am certainly at that point now with former AFC Wimbledon players because the player you mention, I remember him. I can picture him. I know exactly what he's like, but his name has dropped completely out of my head to the point where I am going to put it's Jysemi.
That's right. Yes,
Jeez, that took me ages to get to.
I know.
Blimey.
It's just something I noticed that he was at Orient, but he couldn't get in their squad. But yeah, again in the transfer window, Orient are bringing a lot of players in, but their model is very much like that. But yeah, we just want to praise whoever done the fixtures this year for us that they gave us Orient because it's probably the bad one, probably the prime time to play them. To be fair,
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out actually because you're quite right. The goalkeeper got recalled on the morning of the game, or at least it was announced officially on the morning of the game. It was Simkin who was the Warsaw keeper, wasn't he? In
yeah,
League Two the previous season, and Killian Cahill was his replacement, who came in, who looked nervous as anything in the first half, but in fairness to him, second half, I thought he had a pretty good game. So I just um,
I didn't,
shout
I
out to him.
wouldn't, I didn't feel like Richie Williams was that confident in him because after the game,
No, yeah,
he basically said we must get a keeper in.
yeah.
That tells you that he doesn't really rate the keeper he's got as a
No,
number
no.
two.
But and I can on the first half performance, I can totally understand that because he looked nervous as anything with balls in the box and anything like that. I don't think he could do anything with the two goals.
No,
Otherwise, I think he was all right actually in the second half. I think he stepped up well to him. To be fair, there's a few. I said that we don't want to go into. Sometimes you don't want to go into tactics too much with performances, and it's just a case of doing your job. But there are a couple of things I want to mention. Maybe I should do that after the Wycombe game because as I said, Stu, with this 1 week good, 1 week bad pattern that we've developed, I predicted us to lose at Wycombe. I thought they'd have learnt a lot from the game at Power Lane earlier in the season and
yeah,
adjusted and they did. And I think they were comfortable. I know people said, we people felt that we were doing okay, especially at 2-0 down. No point at 2-0 down. But I didn't see the game. Highlights alone, though, it felt like to me that once the second goal had gone in, Wycombe were quite happy to sit back and take their opportunities on the counter attack, and they had so many, they hit the post at least twice, I think, hit the woodwork.
yeah. I think first half we had enough. I think the thing was we had enough of the ball during the game, but in key moments we just didn't. Obviously, we conceded the goal really early. There was a massive chance at 1-1 which fell to
Yeah,
Matt
with
Stevens.
Stevens, yeah.
And it is a big chance. I don't think it's as easy as made out and stuff like that, but it was a big chance. And once the second goes in, and after that, yeah, we lay siege at their goal, and that's obviously where Junior Nkeng come in, and yeah, he got loads and loads of runs on defenders, and they were in the end they were doubling up and trebling up on him, but we just didn't get enough quality into the box. I never felt we were going to get one back to make it difficult for
Mm.
them. And if you look at it, we can probably run out comfortable winners. One thing that was interesting, a lot of rumours on the day saying how big the budget was at Wycombe Wanderers in terms of they reckon their budget's around about £7.5 million,
Mm.
which is just like, wouldn't surprise me, a bit of money being fed into it, strong squad. But how is that when they had their forward on the bench, who I think was bought in for like 700,000 or 800,000? Like, what is happening to the football world when Wickham are doing that?
It's completely messed up. And
Yeah. Just shows you what you're up against, doesn't it? Not that, the game's won on the pitch, not whoever spends the most money, but you just think, wow, that is a tough, and teams are doing that.
I do wonder why nobody ever looks at football when we talk in these politically charged times and we talk about growing inequality and problems in many areas of society. I don't understand how football gets a free pass and no one ever stops and we never have public conversations about the ridiculous money involved in football and no one raises an eyebrow at these transfer fees. Why is no one going when you see these ridiculous sums of money being spent? Why is no one going like top story? Why is the BBC News just reporting on it as if it's nothing? Surely
Mhm.
not. You'd think someone on there would be going, yes, I can't think there was who. I don't know, Stu, 'cause I don't know anyone in the Premier League anymore. But was it a striker that was going to Liverpool, has ended up at Man City, perhaps? Is that the one, the Bournemouth? Is that right?
Oh, Semendo, isn't it? Oh, his
So,
name
I
is.
don't know. But
I think, John, I think the problem is, right, is that it, we obviously been around when the ITV Digital collapsed,
yeah,
and it did collapse. No one, I think the thing is, football's just in its own bubble where money's coming in. I don't see another ITV. I don't see Sky going bust or anything like that. But
no.
it's just, I think football fans just live in a different world, don't they? And maybe because we're fan owned and we're a bit more closer to the finances and how we generate them, we look at this money and go, wow, that's a lot of money. But to a Wycombe fan, and I'm not picking on Wycombe, even though I would like to, but a Wycombe fan, you could tell them your budget's 7.5 million quid, and they would go, yeah, it's not bad. It's 7.5 million quid.
Seven and a
It's
half
like
million
it's
pounds.
like in a way that's monopoly money. It doesn't really count. It's football money.
Yeah.
It's like football money's got its own currency.
Hmm.
So I think that's your problem. I think the bubble doesn't burst. Um, and the salaries, the wages will continue to increase.
Yeah.
That's your problem. I don't ever see a point where we will spend less money in League One than we did this season. It will always have to keep
Yeah.
increasing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the football world. Nice. I still remember during COVID when people were being laid off from work, or and then I remember listening to TalkSport, and a Villa fan was going, "We need to spend money, probably about 40 million quid on a plan." I'm thinking, do you not realise the world's just shut down?
Yeah.
But football's in a different world. It's like a different universe.
Yeah, I don't think it's healthy, but that's a conversation for another day. Let's focus a minute on these tactical things. There's a couple of points we made earlier. Junior Nkeng, for one, we talked about would he fit into a 3-5-2? But looking back at this Orient game, this Wycombe game, it seems to be a switch to a back four. Still, the issue remains what goes in front of that. We don't play with natural wingers in front of that, so I'm not sure if he would fit into that anyway. But what do you make of this change to the back four? Seemed to be okay at Orient, but against Wycombe, it didn't seem to work as well.
It worries me a little bit because Johnny's never changed his team
No.
formation. Has always kept to a 3-5-2. The only time I recall him doing that was when we were struggling in League
Yeah.
Two, and it was a
Mm.
case of chucking as much against the wall as you could and see what stuck.
Yeah.
So I'll be truthful. The 4-4-2 change. I think the first time we'd done it was probably at Peterborough when we were 3 or 4 down.
We
I
lost
did.
count at some point.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with that because that's just chasing it again. But when he's starting with a 4-4-2, when we don't really have the personnel, that it worries me in terms of what Johnny's thinking, which is why we want him to go back to a 3-5-2. Because we just don't have the squad. We don't have the wingers for it. Our
Mm.
strengths are from our wing. Well, our wing back. The annoying thing is Nathan Asimwe has just dropped like a stone in terms of
Well,
form, isn't
that seems to be the actual reason why for me, it seems to be the reason we switched because he's 30. He can't keep playing a sim way, but we've got no one else that can play in that position. So, I mean, you could try Oggs there. I think Oggs was made centre, but we've tried him now at right as a more traditional right back.
he? Yeah.
But I think that's the reason, to be honest with you, because what else you can't make that system work without
Well, we
someone in
seem,
that wing back position.
yeah, and we're talking about obviously Danilo Orsi and that, but we seem to, the amount of times that Johnny's played Marcus Brown as an out and out forward,
Yeah,
and then at half time brought another forward on and dropped Marcus Brown into number 10,
yeah,
and he's played. We've done that so many times. For me, Marcus Brown is not an out and out forward. He's a number
no,
10. He's
yeah,
not a wide. I think one of the games he played out wide, didn't he? And we were just like,
no,
um, so I think to me, Johnny was showing some signs of not panic, but concern about our form dropping off and where our next points are coming from, and that always worries me a little bit. But I would go back to a 3-5-2. I think you've got to play Marcus Brown in a 10 because I know he's not everyone's favourite, and he frustrates me sometimes in terms of he's got a bit of a petulance against him if he loses the
yeah,
ball or he feels hard done by. However, he's a match winner,
yeah.
and we haven't got too many of them. So I would keep it 3-5-2, but a 4-4-2 is a fallback. I don't mind it in terms of chasing a game, although I'd rather not be chasing too many games.
Do you think he's also looked at it to get an extra body in midfield? Callum Maycock's been getting game time and getting starts, which I don't think any of us saw coming. Do you think he's trying to strengthen that middle area of the pitch? Because Jake's not been in great form. Smith is Smith. It felt like we needed something in there.
Yeah, I said to you a little while ago, it's really weird with Kanemaker, is if like he's not trusted in the first couple of months of the season, and then all of a sudden he's just chucked in. He had it, yeah, he had it last season. Um, I'm not too sure whether he's physical enough for League One, if I'm being honest with you. And there's no doubt Jake Reeves and Smith in there have really struggled and have needed a bit of a break. We just don't have anything extra. I probably would say, in my opinion, I think a Miles Hippolyte in a free would make it a bit stronger.
Yeah.
That's probably what would be my thing. Obviously, we've got Hutchinson, who we've not heard anything about.
That's what I was going to ask next, yeah.
I even think you could play. I know it sounds stupid, but I think you could easily play Riley Harbottle in a more defensive position.
100%.
But he couldn't even get on the pitch as a sub in a virtual trophy game. So, but I think obviously, we recruited a squad for a 3-5-2. So when you go to a 4, as centre halves, if you're used to playing in a 3, then going to a 2, even though you've got professionals in Johnson and Lewis who played in a 4, but realistically, last couple of seasons they played with an extra centre half, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it does leave you a bit vulnerable. But I know we was moaning that there's no plan B, but actually I'd rather plan A just be strong, because ultimately picking up points through this part of the season is going to be the key, whether we're in League One or not next season.
I'm not a fan of Joe Lewis in a 2. I know he's saying he's struggling. I think he needs to be in a back 3, personally.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I always think them two get drawn in sometimes. Playing West Ham on West Ham under-21s on Monday night, the amount of times Ryan Johnson kept coming, in my opinion, way too high up the pitch,
out, yeah,
and getting turned. You can't do that. You can't do that in a 4.
Yeah.
So some of the risks as defenders they take, you can't do in a 4. So I think, hey, look, we used to all play 4-4-2, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? But at the moment,
how football was meant to be played.
the buzzword is now 3-5-2 and low press and all this sort of stuff, or a false 9. I've seen many teams will play with a false 9, and that's not through choice. So
Orsi's gone now, Stu.
Do you know what? The hate on Orsi is just makes me crack up.
I don't hate Orsi. I have nothing against him.
I'll give a call out to the same old Wombles who despise Orsi. I saw Matt Cooper before the Exeter game, and I was like, "What has he done wrong? Is his hair? You have to have a hate figure." Like, I feel sorry for them guys now, because what are they going to do now? They don't have a George Frankham, or even maybe Aaron Sassu's the next one to.
It's going to be
go on the list. Bless him.
It will be Sassu. The thing is with Orsi is I don't think it ever transmitted to the stadium in the way that back in the day I always felt like with a Frankham or a Cosgrove or a Barnett or a Jervis, I felt like there was an atmosphere in the stadium when they were on the pitch or whatever, that you could feel the people had a bit of antipathy towards them. I've never got that sense with Orsi or in or at the stadium. I think people just accepted, and I've got nothing against him, just accepted he was the wrong sort of player for us. Just didn't fit into our system.
No, you can never argue that he wasn't working hard.
No,
I think that was a problem sometimes. You felt like he was always chasing the ball, never had it.
Yeah.
But I think that's why he probably didn't get, because the easy stick would be for playing the franchise. That was, the initial thing was. But I don't think that even got to that stage, because I think we could all see he was working hard. However, it just didn't suit our style of play with that.
I didn't like the celebration. I'll be honest with you, that one.
I love the celebration.
He's a grown man. He's a grown adult.
Yeah, but football's all about celebrating. Like, let's be fair. Like, the players have just had a weekend of been able to celebrate a goal without having to look on the big screen, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, games are about celebrating. Got to celebrate a goal.
Unless you're Miles Hippolyte. Maybe he thought he was in the Premier League and he thought VAR was going to look at it before he could celebrate the goal. That's why he didn't celebrate at Orient. Maybe. Who knows?
Possibly. I just like, I like trademark celebrations. It's like when you play FIFA or FC26 now, and you've got players that had that certain celebration. I love that. Although it does give it boring when you have the people with the heart sign, and what's the other one, sticking fingers in your ears. You do get some that are just literally like, yeah, you think, just have your own set. I reckon do you remember Bayo years ago? You got me thinking now. Do you remember Bayo years ago? Yeah, I think he done a video on the free celebrations that he was thinking about,
Oh yeah, he did.
and
Yeah.
he done a vote on it. That's what we should
Yes.
do.
Mm.
If we've got any, we are a fan-owned club, right? We should be demanding that we give a celebration to whatever player. Obviously, we've got to score a goal first, so maybe we do. If anyone scores, they've got to do this particular celebration. There we are. That's how we have influence on a fan-owned club.
Do you know my best and favourite celebrations are those spontaneous ones where people just show their absolute delight at scoring, and two come to mind instantly: Lyle Taylor against Milton Keynes, Ronan Curtis against Milton Keynes.
Yeah, true. Oh no, do you know what? The best celebration I always think was Alan Shearer's. Simple raise of
Yeah,
hand.
exactly.
Simple
Yep.
raise of hand. If you're looking for the most exuberant celebration, it's still got to be Adam Boyle at Man City when he ran the whole length of the pitch to celebrate in front of Arsenal fans and gave all the security forces a heart attack of how the hell do we stop. But those are the days when you could take your shirt off and put a message underneath it, and nowadays you can't even do that. And do you know what's funny, by the way? West Ham the West Ham under-21s couldn't even have a sponsor on their kit on Monday night because it's a betting company, and you can't have that in under-21s.
Don't you love the inconsistencies and um, contradictions
You can't have a sponsor
in
on your
Premier
shirt if
League
you're
football?
under-21, but if you're older than that, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, somewhat hypocritical of many Premier League clubs and their behaviour, but we won't go into that one perhaps. The thing about the Adebayor situation, by the way, is it was less of a problem because he was doing it in front of the Arsenal fans. And let's be honest, what were they going to do? I think they put down their copy of The Guardian for a moment to tut him as he celebrated in front of them. But never mind.
Can I just say, right? I know we're going to go all over the place, but what is going on with these teams when they have these certain anthems? Like
Don't
Arsenal
get me
do this,
started.
like don't get me wrong, right? I find like everyone's still biased towards Liverpool, right? So if you ever look at a Sky game or when they're on, it's like in a way that they have to do we have to do Never Walk Alone right before the
Yeah,
game starts.
yeah.
When Arsenal played Liverpool the other day, is it North London Forever? I think whatever it is they created.
Yeah, it's bollocks,
They
but yeah.
actually done that before the game started.
Oh,
Like,
fuck
we
off.
have to let them finish now, please.
No.
Like,
That's, but I was thinking, fun enough, John, how these things work hilariously because I hadn't thought to mention this today, but I was thinking about this just yesterday because again, something came up on social media with Stoke fans at Wembley singing Delilah, and Stoke fans are now whinging because they overuse it or whatever. But there are certain clubs that do have anthems, and you go, fair enough. Liverpool, you never work alone, absolutely fair enough. Stoke with Delilah, absolutely fair enough. But then you get these other ones that I'm just like, nah. So the Arsenal one is just complete invention, not having it. You could look at us and say we have an on-off relationship with Wise Men Say. It's never really been a Wimbledon song,
no.
really, to be honest. Let's be honest, and it's sort of not. I don't hear it anymore, really, like it used to be every game back in the day.
Like, they have like North London Forever. Like, could we have like South London? I don't know, South London Forever. South London is. We could have maybe we could have like our, what's it called?
I don't
Our,
know.
what's our song that we can't sing now? I've got
The
it's just.
champagne
The
song.
champagne song. Maybe we can have like South London is a champagne. I don't know, something. I'm not great with songs, but like, yeah, maybe we've got to do that. Again, we're a fan-owned club. We can do what we want.
We can do what we want.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
the one that's actually annoyed me recently is because it's come out of nowhere and everyone's suddenly saying it's the greatest football anthem ever. It is Hibs with Sunshine on Leith, which I didn't even, nobody until 10 minutes ago, no one even knew it was a thing. And I
No,
still don't. And even now, I don't, with all due respect to Hibs and any Hibs fans listening, I don't give a shit. Right. It means nothing to me. So you do what you
no.
want, but I'm not going to give you any sort of obsequious kind of praise for it. It's not going to happen.
Can I
Sycophantic
just say right?
praise for it.
Can I just say right? West Ham fans on Monday night. It turned out in about 600, 700, but they kept singing. They kept singing songs about empty seats, and I was thinking, have you not been to London Stadium? I do think sometimes a little bit hypocritical. But you know what I've realised, right, is like Premier League fans still sing the same songs as everyone else. They're no different.
Mm,
It's still the same thing as like West Ham are massive everywhere you go. And I'm like, well, you're not. You're getting relegated.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, sorry, just makes you look. But they were very vocal. Bless them. on Monday night. And
The one that
we tried our best to get we tried our best to keep them in the game by letting West Ham score, which I thought was kind of us.
we just thought we'd recreate when we beat the actual West Ham in the FA Cup
I
before they
know.
started insulting us by forcing us to play under 21 teams. I mean, if we can beat their first team in the FA Cup and we're good enough to play their first team, then why are you patronising us by putting your under 21s in that competition? Anyway, just the final thing on football songs as well. Do you know the one that really annoys me? And this came up at Kenilworth Road on Saturday when I was up there, was the football in a library chant. And you talk about football fans having no self-awareness. Away fans are always louder than home fans, especially at the start of a game, unless it's like like a derby game or a big rivalry. It's always the
Yeah.
case everywhere you go. I'm, I am sick of hearing. I have been for a long time. Football a lot. So yeah, okay, well done, excellent. Especially at Plough Lane, it doesn't even work because the problem is that away fans and home fans behind the goals they can't hear each other. So where I'm sat,
No,
they're both almost singing back to like, oh, it's nice to know you're here, or we forgot you were here. You've both been singing for the duration of the game. It's just you can't hear each other at other end.
yeah, but also in a way you're sort of like slaughtering your own team when you say like it's like a library, because the reason it's a library because no one's excited that you're here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, let's be fair, you sent your kids over to play us, which is a bit unfair because they're like kids, and we've like I'm not saying right. Well, you know when you're playing a shit, it reminded me back of the conference days, right? When the combined counties, when you scored a goal and you didn't even celebrate because you were like, oh, I feel for them. Do you know what I mean? Like they're only kids, they're shit. Like we
Yeah.
scored the goals, and I can be truthful. I think I've done a clap. That was probably as much as I've done. So in a
Mm.
way, by saying it's a library, you're actually saying how shit your team is because no one gives a shit.
No one cares about the atmosphere.
If you're any good and there's you know us fans thought that we had to get behind our team to beat you, we'd start creating an atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Well, we will look ahead to the Doncaster game very shortly, actually, as we've sort of wrapped up looking at the recent form. We talked about Orsi and Nkeng and the like bits and pieces. Um, Under 21's the in game on Monday, so the B Team Trophy. I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to it, Stu. So, but I know that there's money on offer, and as Johnny Jackson said after the game, we need the money from it. So we're all out to go and win it. Financially, it's important for us, I guess. And there's a host of teams we could play in the next round. I think the draw is on Saturday.
Yeah, it's still Southern. It's still. I think there was conversations that when does it go nationally? I think it stays Southern until the final.
It's the final. The final's
Um,
the only game that's not regional yet.
yeah, which is nice because it means you haven't got to travel stupid places. But I think, yeah, Swindon beat Luton, although that's disputed because there was an issue around substitutes. I think Luton are trying desperately to get Swindon kicks out of the competition, which tells you how
I,
Luton Town season's going.
I don't think Luton
No,
care.
no, it was a bit. Bristol Rovers lost at home to Plymouth 4-3, and I think there's a game tonight. Yeah, so I think it's Plymouth. I think Northampton are playing tonight.
Yeah.
Swindon. I'm glad Luton went out because do you know what? If we got this far, this is the first time we got through to quarterfinals. We've got to the last 16 on many occasions. This is the first time we got through to the quarters. And hey, look, do you know what? We're 2 games away from Wembley, which would be quite interesting for people that are boycotting it. They
Oh,
should be allowed.
it's not
We
it's not
we
gonna be a problem
decide
for me, Stu. I'll tell you that.
we
I ain't
decided
going.
we decided on Monday night between a few people that go that you have to be able to produce your ticket from an earlier round to go to Wembley if you're going to enjoy it. We should all boycott it together. I'm only joking, but yeah, I think in this competition, total prize money if you get to Wembley and win it is around about 1.3 million quid, which is basically our loss per season. So I always think it's silly not to take a competition seriously that you're in when there's
Yeah,
money available.
because the money available.
It would be nice if we got more people in because, of course, that means that. But I get it for an under 21 game. You know, if we draw Swindon at home or stuff, hopefully you might think we get a decent attendance. But it's money now, and hey, look, we need money, so we have to, yeah, put a strong side out.
The Southern/International section, we should call it from now on. Northampton are currently beating Warsaw from Poland 3-2.
Well, yeah, but everyone beats Walsall after Christmas, don't they?
I
Walsall do their,
know.
yeah, Walsall,
Psychologically, you can see it happening, can't you?
yeah, Walsall do their typical. Like Walsall fans feel it. It's like in a way, right? Walsall are the pace setters. You know, if you had like a 1,500 meter race, right? They're the pace setters, and they just naturally fall by the wayside once you get around to the third lap. You know, it just Yeah, their fans must be thinking, I'm just going to pay for a half-year season ticket, just the first half. I'm not interested in the second half. But yeah, everyone beats Walsall, bless them.
It all starts going wrong once we hit January for Warsaw, bless them. Right. Elsewhere in the football world, FA Cup third round on the weekend.
Yeah,
And
it was a bit of a mixed reaction, wasn't it, to it? There was some upsets, but no one could see them unless you pay for TNT Sports.
well, you see, you say this, and I can't remember if it's going to sound bad. Oliver Holt, Henry Winter, I can't remember which one of the two, was making this point about the lack of televised games at the third round weekend. Stu, when I was a kid, there was no TV games at the third round weekend. There might have been
There was
one.
no TVs when you were a kid.
Well, this is true. I no, hold on, wait a second.
You sort of think that's got a TV or not?
I've only been alive since the invention of the iPhone. Um, yeah, there was no, and the FA Cup third round was all the occasional game that had to be played on a Sunday because you couldn't have Palace and us couldn't play both be at home on the Saturday. You know, the Chelsea, Fulham, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesdays, whatever.
Yeah.
But generally it was Saturday 3 o'clock, and there might have been one TV game on the weekend on the Sunday. So that didn't bother me. It's the fact that it was too spread out over 4 days. I have no idea why Liverpool Barnsley was on TV on a Monday night. Who the hell is watching that and thinking there's an upset in that one? And people can say, well, Barnsley won at Liverpool a few years ago. Yes, a few years ago they did, but they did it at Saturday 3 o'clock because no one thought there was ever a chance of anything happening in that one. That was the problem for me. I wasn't too bothered. The highlights are more than enough for me. That's the excitement. And I feel the excitement is diluted massively when we've got Sheffield United versus Mansfield on a random Sunday, or we've got Charlton versus Chelsea at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night or whatever it was.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, I prefer most of the games on a Saturday, a good highlights package. Um, I don't mind so much an early. I did watch the
Yeah, I
Macclesfield,
don't mind that so much, to be honest. Yeah.
and that was great because it was Palace.
Yeah.
And it was just you don't see many of them upsets at all nowadays,
Yeah.
because the levels, and you saw that there was hardly any real upsets. But it was great for Mansfield on that side of it, and then they got
Macclesfield.
the Macclesfield, and then they obviously got. And what I did notice that a couple of commentators still kept calling them Macclesfield Town. And I was
Town,
like,
yeah.
old habits die hard. And of course,
Yeah.
they got a plum Premiership draw, didn't they, with Brentford? They must be thinking, what have you done to us? Like, you've given us Brentford, who are a Premier League side that are not going to underestimate anybody.
Yeah.
So bless them. But I
And to
think
be fair, it's not. I think they came down in the draw, and I'll get onto the draw in a minute. I think the three teams left were Brentford, Leeds, and Birmingham. And you
yeah.
wanted Leeds out of those three. You wanted Leeds, didn't you? Let's be honest.
But I still remember the day we drawed Liverpool in the FA Cup. The FA
Yeah.
Cup draws. I remember we were at Merstrom and I was watching an under-21 game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was literally, Merstrom had got like a boardroom. And it was basically like a greenhouse, like
Yeah.
a built greenhouse. And I remember seeing Eric and I think Neil Hardy would have been at the time, wasn't it? Neil Hardy was manager.
Yeah.
In there. And I was watching against the window, and I just still remember when we come out of home and Liverpool were drawn.
Yeah.
It was just like the buzz. And then
Mhm.
Eric, I remember, got a phone call from a Liverpool journalist within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the excitement was just mad. So, yeah, for those Macclesfield fans, one getting a Palace draw, which is like, who wants Palace? Although, do you know what? Palace deserved. Actually, I don't think Palace deserved to go out. Did you hear that there was actually they had a ball that was made for the winners of the FA Cup this year? So the FA Cup winners play with a different football.
Why? Who is that for? What purpose is that for?
So they basically had the ball for one game. So yeah, that's a new thing that's been brought in. You get that's just like, not only now do the Premier League champions get like the golden, maybe that's what it is, right? If you're playoff winners, you can play with a golden football for the whole season. That'd be great for us, wouldn't it?
You were saying?
But no, that was a funny thing. They were making a joke out of the fact that they had a ball made for them, and they apparently the day before they had some sort of like open thing at Palace where they showed that they got this new football, and
Jesus,
and
what
then
has
they got
all
knocked
come
out of
to?
it. Obviously, the football was shit. They obviously didn't know how to play with it.
Absolute pointless nonsense that is, to be honest with you. So, I mean, ridiculous. I mean, but the thing is with the draw, like you say, Darren Fletcher, Ali McCoist doing some sort of vaudeville act. Just draw the fucking names out of the fucking hat. That's the excitement. As you've just said there, Stewie, anecdote about when we got drawn against Liverpool. You don't remember who was doing the draw or the banter that
No,
they were having as the teams were
no.
coming out. You just remember the fact that your team came out and a big draw followed, and because that's what it's about. Nice live studio audience as well, being idiots and cheering and clapping along. It's like, what are you doing? Just draw the fucking names.
Hey, look, you're seeing years to come. They're high at the O2, and you'll have a whole fucking place sold out
Oh,
of
and there'll be some ginger YouTuber that's got his mug all over it.
them. Oh, we are so old. What's a YouTuber? Like, yeah, I know.
What is the world coming to
Although
you? I know
I did notice for the what's the league they've got for the YouTubers?
the
Oh,
shit league.
that league. But for the find, they had the finals evening, and Barak and Fenwa and Yakubu were both drafted in to one of the teams to play. The baller,
Ryukubu.
the baller league, the baller league.
I don't know what that
Um,
means.
but you know what? It's funny actually. I was just going to say this. I don't know if you noticed, but I think it was Semenyo who actually went from Bournemouth to Man City.
Mm.
He was allowed to play in the semi-final last night against
Oh
Newcastle
yeah, yeah,
because players are no longer cup tied.
yeah. They've got rid of Cup Tide. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Love
in the
it,
FA Cup they've got rid of it as well. Yeah.
love it.
Just don't give it. Just eliminate any sort of rules or hardship for anyone. Give them unlimited subs. Let them play. Let them sign a player the day before. In Swindon's case, just let them pick a player at random. They don't even have to say that he's on the team sheet. Just that's a joke on that one. But the rest of them, like, it's just nonsense.
But these rules have always been it.
What is
These
coming
rules
to
are
football?
always. But these rules have always been in. Like, do you remember the emergency goalkeeper rule? Like you've got how many goalkeepers you got in your club, and you still did an emergency 7 day loan? It's like
Yeah,
it's
true.
hilarious. Just play a player and go. Anyway, we digress. We digress.
We always digress. This is the problem. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah. I can't think what's happened. I think Macclesfield Brentford was the draw in the next round, as it were. I know that because Barnsley got knocked out, we still have a game on the 14th of February, so everyone can spend their Valentine's Day in Yorkshire at Oakwell.
And talk about and the funny thing is I think Man City have been drawn at home to the winners of Swindon versus Salford, which has probably given Salford PTSD after being beaten by 8 goals
Yeah,
last year. And obviously Exeter got beat. Bless it. If you're going to get to the fight, if you're going to get a big game, just get slaughtered.
yeah, just
But
double figures.
remember with Salford, they actually had a terrible second half of the season.
Well, this is the thing; it can have an effect, and Exeter have got
Hopefully it
to.
does.
Yeah, Exeter have got to recover quickly because that can have a massively detrimental effect once you
Yeah.
have a result like that or have an experience like that. So we'll see. Anyway, we are unsurprisingly running late.
But it's sounding great.
Before we move on, quick go of Richard Osman Foyer's House of Games.
Yes, let's go for it.
Going to do an answer smash this week, so I don't have time to do anything else. We call it Neil Coxless Pairs, if you remember the day. And I thought, in honour of the passing of Danilo Orsi, I would.
He's not dead.
He is to me.
Bless him. You're gonna be like having like serious issues when you see him scoring for Crawley next season.
Yeah, because I have to see that knobhead celebration. There are 6 questions to recognise 6 legendary AFC Wimbledon strikers. Okay? And then you have to smash the answers together. So let's see if I can start off with a nice easy one. Former Plymouth forward who we had on loan from Luton in 2018-19. And I mentioned him earlier, actually. And then North London Borough that Arsenal play in. Again, linking to something you brought up earlier.
Right. Who do we have on loan from Plymouth? Tanner, was it?
Not Tanner. No, we didn't have him on loan from it. We had him on loan from Luton, but we came to know him, I think, in the first instance when he played against us for Plymouth.
Hilton.
No.
Oh dear, this is not good. You said legendary forwards. I can't remember the first one.
Initials. He shares his initials with our current manager.
Oh, Jake Jervis.
Yeah. And then
And where do London? Where did Arsenal play? They play in.
it smashes together with Jake Jervis. So Jake Jervis,
Jervis.
North London.
Where do Arsenal play? What the hell is a borough? Jervis. Islington. Jervisington.
There you go. Yeah, Jake Jervislington.
Joe, I had to really think then. I just know they play at Highbury or play at the library or somewhere in North London. I've never actually thought about the borough they play in.
They don't play in Highbury either. But
No, but it's not a borough. But yeah, I know.
Okay, how about this one? Former Birmingham City striker scored once for us in League One in 2022. He didn't play very
Oh
long
yeah,
for us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the name of a famous Eva Cassidy song.
it was Cosgrave.
Nearly.
Cosgrove.
Yeah,
Cosgrove of the Rainbow.
very good. Sam
He's
Cosgrove of
playing
the
out. He's
Rainbow.
playing out in Australia now, by the way.
Wow,
He was
things have
so
really
he was so
turned
poor.
upside
Try
down
to
for
get
him.
as far away as possible. Try to get as far away as possible from anybody.
Could play
They
for
won't
Leyton
know how
Orient.
shit. They won't know how shit I am.
They won't have a clue. Play for Leyton Orient. They play in Brisbane, as we said.
Yes.
I'm only saying that because I realised I don't know what sponsor's name they've given it now, but no one actually called their stadium Brisbane Road anymore. They call it the gambling AI social media apocalypse of doom stadium or something like that. The one that really annoys me is Reading. But anyway, no, let's move on. Right. South Wales Village, home of Fireman Sam. And then a CCL striker who scored 4 goals against Ditton in 2002.
Scored against what?
Yeah, do you remember in the Cherry Red Books Trophy at Hampton and Richmond, we played Ditton and we won 5-1, and this striker scored 4 times.
Well, I'll be truthful. I don't watch Fireman Sam. Thankfully, my son hasn't even got anywhere near that. Thankfully,
No.
I'm going
So
to struggle
no.
with this one.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you this one?
Yes.
Um, the striker is Andy Petty.
That's a little bit. Yeah.
So altogether, the answer will be, I'm going to struggle to say this one because it's going to make me laugh. Ponty Pandy Petty.
I love it.
Right. How about this one? I think we've got 3 more, maybe. Uh, good luck with this one. On loan from Fulham, a striker in 2022. He scored no goals for us in 12
That
appearances.
Darko? No, it wasn't.
Not Darko. Darko was a long time before that.
Bless him.
2022 would
Yeah.
have been a Robbo signing. Online from Fulham. Didn't score from us. First name might be related to a chocolate orange, which are available from Rawlinson's. Who makes the chocolate oranges, Stu?
Nestle?
No. What are they?
Cadbury's?
No. Venables.
I don't know, makes chocolate oranges.
What was the
I,
England
I,
manager? The
I
England
know
manager.
I know Nestle and Cadbury's.
No, you don't. England manager at Euro 96. What was his name? What's going on?
Venables.
Yeah, what's his first name?
Terry's.
There we go. Yeah. So who was the striker on loan from Fulham that was rubbish and didn't score any goals for us?
Terry something.
It was Terry something.
I can't remember his first name. I can't remember his surname was. I don't like quizzes, but yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if you remember the name of the actor and comedian formerly married to Jennifer Saunders. He was the co-star of Bottom. He was in The Young Ones.
Oh, Edmondson, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Shorten Adrian to shorter 1 syllable.
Ad.
Nearly.
Run. Aid.
Aid. There we go. So it's Terry something and Aid Edmondson. What goes in the gap? No. There are going to be some people that are listening that are going, "Oh, I thought it was Terry Ablade." And I'm saying it probably was. But for the purposes of this, we're going to call him Terry Ablade. And therefore it would become Terry Ablade Edmondson.
He obviously didn't score for us, so I don't know who he is. I forgot his name.
Told you these were legendary strikers.
Yes, I can tell.
How about this one? You might have just mentioned him. Austrian forward signed on loan from Cardiff in 2013.
Austrian?
He was Austrian, yeah. But you did just say his name not so long ago.
Darko.
Yeah. Do you remember his first name?
Jesse.
Yeah, there you go. And then finally, one-time tag team partner of Owen Hart, known for bringing his pet bird, a macaw, to the ring. Or a macaw, if you want to pronounce it. Macaw. Who knows?
I can get the first part. It's obviously Darko.
Yeah. No.
My wrestling knowledge is no good anymore unless you tell me whether it was like Mr. Perfect.
He was in sort of Mr. Perfect's era. I think when I say it, you're going to go, oh, yeah, I do vaguely remember him. But yeah. Well done to anyone at home listening, especially the wrestling fans, for Jesse Darkoko Beware.
Oh, bless them. They haven't got normal names, have they?
Stu, you're the reincarnation of the Worthing FCPA guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bless him.
Oh, wow. What memories. Hey, okay, last one for anyone still listening. BBC sitcom about parenthood featuring Alan Maxwell Martin and Diane Morgan.
I
Don't
watch
know if you're
BBC.
familiar with it.
I was having
No.
this discussion the other day. I don't watch much now. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff now, which is just sort of short segments.
Yeah.
But
Do
no,
you
it's
put
not.
not those
This
one? Okay.
this will be a home one for people.
Yeah. Norwegian striker scored twice in our Premier League relegation season under Egil
Love
Olsen. Yeah. Andreas Lund.
Andreas Lund.
Yeah, we go.
And
So,
it mad, right? How I can remember forwards from the 90s.
yeah.
I couldn't remember who played yesterday.
I can't remember Jai Samey from a couple of years ago.
Lund. No, I've no idea the first bit
No, it's Mother Landreas Lund.
is. Cool. Well, I did well on that one this year.
This year. That's it for this year. So no more games, no more ones. I think that was fairly tricky, to be fair, with some of those. You can tell that I did that very last minute as well, trying to put those together. So Ponty Pandy Petty is still
That
going to
is
make me
quite good.
laugh.
That is
That's going to
quite
make me
good.
laugh for quite a long time. Right, Doncaster Rovers then on Saturday. Grant McCann is still in charge somehow. They are second bottom of the league. They're 6 points from safety. They have won one of their last 17 games in the league. They have not won away from home in the league since the 23rd of August.
You know what?
Uh,
I was just listening to 72 Plus before we come on, and Joy Jackson's on there,
oh,
by the
yes,
way.
sorry.
So,
I was meant to mention this earlier.
Aaron made a stat. I can't remember the forward, but apparently Shrewsbury Town are the most depressing team to watch in recent history. They've only won 12 games in their last 77.
Oof.
Could you imagine that?
That's worse than, are they worse than Morecambe?
Well, yeah,
Or maybe
Morecambe.
I suppose in the 72, I suppose. Sorry, they've
Yeah,
yeah.
Morecambe a different story, but yeah, that's not a great record, is it? To be fair with Doncaster. Do you know
No.
what? I looked at all their stats, and it said to me home win,
Mm.
which worries me. Yeah, if you look across the board in terms of games they've lost, even in terms of when they concede their goals, they literally they're very much like us. Anyone arriving, did you realise we've only scored one at home? We've only scored two goals in the first half an hour,
Were they both against Wycombe?
possibly. Isn't that unbelievable?
We have said about the way we start halves, yeah.
Yeah, but no, do you know what? It looks like me to a home win. I don't think it will be. But yeah, they're not very good.
They're not. They have got Hakib Adelarkin, who is a good player. Primarily, he is an excellent player in League Two, so he's upper level. But
Yeah, and
he is
obviously,
a talented player.
and he was a free agent, didn't have a club for the first 3 or 4 months,
Yeah,
which
same as
is
every season for him.
yeah, exactly. I think he just had like a long summer holiday. But yeah, very good player. Yeah, you're probably right. Whether he's a League One striker, although you could argue, are we a League One side the way we're playing at the moment? So, yeah, they've obviously done that. I think they've got a goalkeeper in as well. So yeah, it's I don't know what to make of it. I'll be truthful. Like I say, it should be a home win, but this looks like a possible banana skin to me.
Personally, Stu, I think given they are one win in 17 and we are one win in 11 in the league, I think this game has got draw written all over it.
And that's where I am. I'm very much. I think this could be a draw. I don't think we'll lose it. Um, I don't think it's going to be a great game. Two teams out of form. That side of it. So yeah, my gut feeling says it's going to be a draw, which I'm not too sure is going to be good enough. But we'll soon see.
If we abbreviate our name to Wim and they abbreviate their name to Don, if we were to win 8-3, the score in the top left might actually just read Wimbledon.
You've had too much time to think of that.
I literally just thought of that just now because my brain works in ridiculous ways. I'm not quite sure why or how I get to these places. I see it though, Stu. Despite the fact I've said it should be a draw or will be a draw, we need to win this game. I know we've got Port Vale and Rotherham, Rotherham the following Saturday, and then Port Vale the following midweek, away from home, and they will be all looking at us. All three of our opponents, the next three games, are going to be looking at us, thinking winnable fixture for them. We're not
Yeah,
going to win all three of them. We need to win at least one of them. 5 points actually would be a great return for us, really.
yeah, you're right. And this is the thing. This one sets up the next two.
Yeah.
In terms of if we lose this, then we are going to them two with a need for maximum points. Whereas if we can get maximum points on Saturday, then it does. I wouldn't say it takes the pressure off us, but takes confidence into what are two challenging games. Obviously, Port Vale have got a new manager in, and Rotherham. Rotherham, I don't get. They just look poor. But it's a big. Our next three games are massive, and if we could start off with a win, that would be great. I just have a bad feeling about it.
League One on Saturday, Division 3. Some interesting fixtures this weekend. A full complement as it stands, so all 12 games on Saturday. We still have a couple of annoying early kickoffs for reasons. But yeah, I'm looking Peterborough versus Plymouth is interesting for me. See how Plymouth do. We're a team that have improved massively, but are still in the big fight to stay up. Barnsley, who have got a lot of games in hand, but have found themselves toward the bottom end of the table because of that, because of their lack of games and their inconsistency at home to Blackpool, who are down there amongst
Yeah,
us. Leyton Orient, see whether they got a good point with Cardiff, actually, last time out, but they do look in big trouble, and Reading are improving all the time. And then at the top of the table, Bradford versus Cardiff, Luton versus Lincoln as well, Northampton versus Wycombe. Northampton.
yeah. The Luton game interests me. Although that's obviously not top of the table because Luton aren't top of the table, but
They are not.
Lincoln doing really well. I did see their game. They beat Peterborough, I think 5-3, scored quite a few goals. I think we did well getting them when we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some decent games actually, and of course, like I say, it feels like in a way you sometimes have like a bit of a winter break. And what I mean by that is when the window opens, teams change. Obviously, there's been a lot of activity, so it feels like this is the second half of the season, and it's who prepares the best because there's a lot of changes in squads.
Well, updates from the game with Doncaster will be on Nazi Twitter at 9YRS podcast. Aside from that, Stu, is there anything else we should have mentioned?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit. It's been quite nice to have the podcast back after our break. Yeah, looking forward to the second half season. We're just looking forward to see how we come out the transfer window if we come back out any stronger. So
Well, we shall see. See if any news breaks before the game on Saturday. Maybe some has broken before we get this published. Who knows? This is the way it goes. But I think on that note, Stu, we shall sign off for this week.
few days,
Thank you very much for joining me.
no problem.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. Alexa Bliss, bag first, milk last, 2 + 2 = 4. We shall speak to you again next week.